The full moon in Pisces brings with it a connection to our spirit guides, psychic gifts, and wisdom. It calls on us to seek solitude and gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our spiritual experience. Hey guys, I'm Luna Seranova, and this is the full moon. Let's talk about it. I'm still trying to figure out my background. Like, literally, don't even worry. I hate it. I need a lamp. I need a pink lamp because I don't like the lighting. Anyway, welcome back everybody. Thanks for joining me. If you're new here, hi, my name's Luna. I would highly recommend subscribing if you like all things witchy and or girly and or astrology and or fun, because that's what we do here. So let's talk about the full moon. So essentially the full moon, the new moon's all about new beginnings. The full moon is all about the culmination and the celebration. So it's the peak of energy. So if we're to compare it to like a menstrual cycle, it's the ovulation. It's the party, it's party time, right? It's summer if it was the seasons, right? So it's like the peak of energy, really heightened energy. It can be really exhausting. My cats are playing, so if you hear anything crazy, that's what it is. It can be really exhausting if you are a very empathic person, or if the full moon is, doing something crazy with your chart. It can just be kind of crazy, kind of exhausting. So sometimes I like to take it easy on the full moon. So let's talk about the specs of the Pisces full moon, which is today. So the Pisces full moon will always happen in Virgo season. That's because a full moon, astronomically, is when the sun and the moon are opposite of each other. And that's why it's fully illuminated. So we know the sun is in Virgo, opposite of Virgo is Pisces. There's your opposition. Every year it happens on a different day within Virgo season, but you can watch this video at any point in the future. If you're watching in 2024, the Pisces full moon is happening on September 17th at 7:34 p.m. Pacific time, 10:34 p.m. Eastern time. I'll leave a list of future full moon in Pisces for those of you time travelers who are coming back in time to watch this video. Also, if you're watching in 2024, condolences. This is an eclipse, so it might be like a little crazy. I personally am not looking forward to it because this past Mercury retrograde was really crazy. And personally, I'm a Pisces moon, so this is happening in a very personal place in my chart. But if you want to learn more about the specific aspects and the eclipse happening in 2024, join my Patreon. We're gonna have a full moon girls night and I'm gonna go into the aspects and the energy of this particular moon this year. So let's talk a little bit about Pisces. So Pisces is a water sign. This is a very emotional, very creative, very intuitive sign, okay? Pisces is like literally the dark poet who's like so emotional. I'm saying this as somebody who literally wrote a poetry book that is like so emotional as a Pisces moon, okay? So they're very poetic, they're very emotional, they're very deep, they're very wise, so they tend to be healers or spiritual people of some sort. They're very wise, they're very deep. Pisces is a mutable modality. So mutable means it's kind of like flowy. They can kind of shift. They're very flexible. They can shift with like the vibe of what's happening. They pick up on energy. They can read the room very well, and they can allow their energy to sort of shift around that. So that's kind of a little bit of what we might be feeling. Pisces also rules the 12th house. This house gets so, in my opinion, misinterpreted. And I don't know, people are like so mean to the 12th house for no reason. I have a 12th house stellium, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm very familiar with the 12th house. And, yeah, sometimes it's not fun, but it's actually super deep and interesting, so take that. The 12th house is the hidden house. Sometimes it's considered the house of hidden enemies. So yeah, sometimes it can suck. But also the 12th house is deeply, deeply wise and spiritual, psychic, and in tune with the esoteric, and all of which we can't see. So we think of like the hidden energy. So, that is quite literally that on the astral realm, stuff like that. I also personally see the 12th house a lot in mental health, psychology, philosophy. It's definitely up here, right? And Pisces is ruled by Jupiter in traditional astrology and Neptune in modern astrology. That's a little bit about Pisces, just so we're all on the same page of what Pisces is, who she is. Now, I always like to talk about the shadow side of each sign because there's always a shadow side, there's always negatives that can come up, and I think that if we're aware of the shadow side before a transit, like, we can be prepared for what we should look out for and at least have a little bit more accountability within ourselves. Pisces in her shadow can become manipulative because she has like all the secrets of the universe. And like, I think very empathic people can be very manipulative because they can read people really well. And there's a sort of responsibility that comes with that. And I think that, you know, if Pisces is not, you know, healed in these ways, like, Pisces can come off as manipulative. In the shadow side, Pisces can let emotions overrun their life and become like debilitated by the heaviness in which they experience the world. And sometimes also Pisces can really fall victim to the spiritual psychosis where they're so up in the astral realm that they get so disconnected from the real world and from their body, and can then, you know, really fall into delusions or, you know, just lacking grounding, lacking any sense of reality. So be aware of those things. Be aware of that for sure. So what's the energy of this Pisces full moon? The Pisces full moon really increases psychic abilities, our connection to our spirit guides, our ancestors, our deities, etc. And it really opens the channel for us to tap into wisdom and channeled messages and our intuition. So it's really a time where, like, it's definitely the time to be looking at signs and symbols and all those things, right? It's definitely, if you're looking for a time to get deep into meditation and connect to your spirit guides, to your ancestors, to do lucid dream work, this is super the time. It can also be a time where mental health can be challenging or past wounds can arise. It's, again, the 12th house, which is the end of the cycle. So anything not kind of tied up in a pretty bow can come up during this time. And also the 12th house does have to do with mental illness, mental health, things like that. And I mean, even for folks who don't struggle with mental illness, like, it is so much energy during a Pisces full moon. We're experiencing what it feels like to be an empath. And for those of us who are not used to that, that can feel so overwhelming. So you might be really lethargic, you might feel a little depressed because you're feeling everything so much. So side note, like, I know we all love to be super informed and active within our community and within, like, the revolution, and, like, maybe let yourself take a step back from all the horrors of the news and the world around us if you're feeling a little disempowered this full moon. It can be a really good time to work on deconstructing and resetting our subconscious, doing healing work, because it is just primed for that as we're really open in our emotional state and, like, our emotional and mental kind of facilities in our body. It's very open. Or just as well, you can focus on giving yourself plenty of space and time to rest and to just be. Okay, it's really okay to take a breather. Like I said, if this full moon is feeling overwhelming or disempowering, or you're feeling just like, holy shit, I feel everything all at once, it's totally fine to tap this one out and to just, like, chill and to maybe focus on doing, you know, recovery exercises. Like, maybe you take a nice bath or get a massage or, you know, call a friend, whatever it is. At the end of the day, the intensity of this moon and the area of your life in which it's going to really come up is dependent on your natal birth chart. So you can really get personal, you can really get specific about which area of your life is going to be really illuminated during this full moon by looking at that birth chart. And your birth chart, if anybody doesn't know, it's just a snapshot of the sky at the time you were born. This is where we see sun, moon, rising, all of our personal planets, the asteroids, the angles, everything. So to do this, go cast your birth chart, not CoStar. You can use CoStar if you really want to, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm sorry, I don't like CoStar. You guys know this if you know me. It just doesn't give you all the information that's going to be relevant. If you don't have a personal planet or a planet that CoStar deems important, it just won't tell you which house Pisces is occupying. So people are just going around thinking they don't have any Pisces, when in reality, you totally have Pisces in a chart. Every single person does. Or in a house, every single person does. CoStar won't tell you that. I recommend going to astro.com if you want to cast your birth chart yourself. It's fairly easy to do so. It's a little confusing, but you can figure it out. All you need is your date, location, and time of birth. If it's feeling really confusing, get a reading done, whether it's me or another reader. It's honestly so much easier and such a good intro into your chart. And then once you get a reading or two in, if you're interested, then you can start to read your chart yourself. It's just that professional astrologers can really easily look at the chart and interpret it in an everyday way that makes sense, rather than it just being like all these weird symbols and lines. Find Pisces in your chart. If you've gotten a reading from me before, pull up your PDF. Find Pisces in your chart and see which house it occupies. I am going to be using Billie Eilish's chart as an example to show you. Find Pisces. As we can see in Billie Eilish's chart, I use Placidus, by the way. Pisces is in her 12th house and her first house. Pisces is her ascendant. So interesting, double house action. If we look at whole sign, it would just be the first house. I like to look at both. This is gonna show you which house is activated by this full moon. So for Billie Eilish, it's going from her 12th house to her first house. So it's definitely like this time of rebirth even. It's a full moon on her ascendant, which also, if you've seen Billie Eilish, she has the Pisces ascendant eyes, right? I love it. I could totally see this being a time where it would feel really fulfilling for her to revamp her appearance, like change something about her appearance. In the 12th house area, it's like getting clear about who she is, doing like really deep inner healing work, and then coming out on the other side and wanting to make her physical appearance express that more authentically, if that makes sense. She also has her Mars in her 12th house of Pisces, so I definitely could see this being a time where she kind of has like a creative expression moment, or she feels really driven to make something or create something. Could be like a secret passion project that's just for herself, since the 12th house is a lot about kind of healing and subconscious work. It could just be for herself. It could be something she gives into the world, shows the world, and it would be something like really, really deep and meaningful to her. It seems like a really good time for her to just like tap into her creativity and passion in a way that is meaningful and expresses that healing work that she's been doing. And then, like I said, with the ascendant, having a sort of revamp about her personal aesthetic or appearance that feels more fulfilling in like an authentic way. I know that was a lot. If you're new to astrology, that might feel kind of confusing. So that's okay. If you're not able to like get a reading or pull up your chart, honestly, just like take the basic things that I'm saying here, because the full moon in Pisces is going to be affecting us all, and we're all gonna feel this increased emotionality, empathic feeling, creativity, sensitivities, intuition. All that's gonna be coming up for all of us, regardless of where it is in your house. You don't need to get hyper specific if you're not able to, so don't worry. But if you are wanting to get more specific and get a really direct look at where this full moon is going to be happening for you, I do offer 2 readings, a comprehensive natal chart reading, which I would recommend for folks who have been in astrology for a little bit and have somewhat of an understanding. It's a pretty big reading. It's like an hour and a half. It's very in-depth of your entire chart. Or if you just want to tap into kind of your gifts, your talents, what makes you special, I have your unique magnetism reading. And in the notes, if you want to just look at Pisces, or if you want me to, in addition to the magnetism of your chart, look at where Pisces is transiting for you, I can totally do that for you. Just put that in the notes when you check out, and I'll make sure to do that. But yeah, I recommend your unique magnetism for beginners or folks who haven't really looked at their natal chart wheel, or when they look at it, they're like, I'm not sure what I'm looking at. It's a really, really amazing intro level reading. It's nice, it's bite-sized, but it's packed full of info. There's 2 areas of celebration that I think we should celebrate this full moon in Pisces. The first one is connecting to your psychic abilities. Energy's really heightened, okay? Like intuition's going to be on X Games mode, okay? It's going to be very, very heightened. So now is really the time, regardless of like how super connected you feel to your intuition or your psychic abilities, now's really the time to tap into it because it's going to be easier. So some ritual ideas, meditating, I think that's a good primer for any of this work, and especially if you're newer and you're trying to get into it, meditation's the baseline. Work on channeling with your ancestors. I like to just sit in meditation, and once I feel good and like connected to the astral realm, just kind of like open up the channel, invite them in, whoever wants to come. Really don't put too much pressure on it. If no one comes, it's really okay. It's just that there's nothing they have to say. You know, you could invite in ancestors, vocational ancestors, spirit guides, things like that. Deities even. You could do a tarot spread, or if you don't have a tarot deck or don't know how to read tarot, you can treat yourself to a little tarot reading. You can try scrying if you're feeling frisky. You can make a dream sachet or a spell jar for lucid dreaming, because Pisces is all about lucid dreaming. I would also say, like, lots of us might have funky wonky little dreams. During the Pisces full moon, Pisces is ruled by Neptune, known for really weird dreams. My second area of celebration for us is opening up your creative channel. Pisces are very creative. They have so much wisdom and intuition that they flow that through their creativity, and they end up making really, really good art that feels very meaningful and very impactful. So really tapping into that creative energy if you're feeling frisky. So you could do some abstract art. I think Pisces energy is really fun for abstract art because Pisces are not so attached to rules and structures and how things are supposed to go. So it's easier to do some sort of funky abstract art and let go of your idea of rules and stuff like that when the moon's in Pisces. You do art magic, you can write poetry or like a short story. You could even do a short story as a devotional to a deity. It's kind of what I've been doing with my short story, Forbidden Love, Forbidden Fruit, as a little thing to Hades and Persephone. As always, you can make some moon water, you can charge or cleanse your crystals. Speaking of crystals, a couple of crystals I would recommend working with to amplify this Pisces energy for you, to keep around while you're doing these rituals. Fluorite for cleansing negativity. Pisces, again, very sensitive. I would also say, like, during this full moon, when you're going out and you're living your life, if you have any negative interactions, just be sure to cleanse yourself. My favorite quick way is washing your hands under some cold water and then taking the water and sprinkling it around your aura to just cleanse, especially if it's just like someone cut you off or the checkout person like had an attitude, or like you got bad vibes from whatever, like just little things like that. It just can get sticky in your aura if you're not cleansing that as they come. Just cleanse yourself, because Pisces really magnetizes shit. It really picks up on a lot of stuff. So fluorite for cleansing that negativity. Fluorite will also open up your higher chakras. Rainbow moonstone, one of my favorites, for creativity and intuition. And blue lace agate for expressing your truth and expressing your emotions. So maybe you're somebody who struggles expressing their emotions, or just has a, not so great relationship with their emotions. Blue lace agate can help you. I would also, in that case, recommend maybe like a rose quartz or an aventurine, a green aventurine, to make sure your heart chakra is like good too. I also have a tarot spread for you guys, a 4-card pull. So if you do read tarot, here's a little something to pull on the full moon. Card 1, what do my spirit guides want me to know? Card 2, what do my spirit guides want me to celebrate from this past lunar cycle? Card 3, in which areas of my life can I show myself more kindness? Card 4, How can I tap deeper into my intuition and creativity? And lastly, I have some journal prompts for those of you who just want to think it out or write it out. What is my relationship like to my intuition? Do I have a hard time trusting myself? Do I doubt my intuition? Which activities make me feel most well rested? How can I care for my spirit body more with rest and recovery? What is my relationship like to my spiritual practices? Should I dedicate more time to my practice? Am I content? Is there something new I'd like to learn? That's what I have for you all today. I hope you enjoyed this full moon in Pisces video. I think it's gonna be a fun full moon. I think that it definitely can be a little intense at times, so just feel it out. I mean, that's the whole point, is feeling the feelings that come up and connecting to your intuition. So please tap into your intuition and check in with yourself, because you know, some of us might be feeling like, ooh, we want to do ancestor work, we want to do all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And some of us might be feeling like, whoa, this is a little much. And the last person I want to talk to is my ancestors right now. So just tap into what you need and what feels good. Other than that, I do have a full moon meditation bundle on my website if you want a meditation. It's actually, you get 12 meditations, so one for every full moon of the year. So this bundle is only $22, so if you buy it, you have a full moon meditation for every full moon of the year. I love it. You also get a full moon calendar for 2024, 2025, and 2026. And also, if you want to join Full Moon Girls Night, you can come check us out and hang out with us. We're meeting live on Tuesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. Central Time. And I'll have those readings listed in the description. But other than that, I hope you have so much fun this full moon. I hope you take care of yourself. And yeah, I love you all so, so much. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.